Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Paint Party live stream. So glad to have you here in the studio with me this evening in a kind of dreary, cool day here in the mountains, but we are finally beyond winter, I believe. So we are going to continue the painting that we started last week. I did not get a chance to get back into the studio this week to work on it, so we're going to continue. It has had a week to kind of dry that first layer, and so I'm excited to work with that in the live stream today with you. You can participate in the live stream wherever you are watching this through the comments, so feel free to ask questions or make comments as we go through the evening. I'm so glad to have you. I enjoy interacting with you in the comments, so please feel free to ask questions or make comments as we go along. This is my Learn to Paint journey. If you've been here before, you know how it works. I work on a different painting every week and try to, in this case, we're working a couple weeks on the same painting, but I kind of bring you along on my journey, and I am figuring it out as we go as well. I've been doing this about 3 or 4 years, and really enjoy this medium and this as an enjoyable hobby in my life. So I'm glad to have you in the studio. Let's get set up. I will turn this camera around to my canvas and we will get working. All right, let me jump in here. Welcome everybody who's coming in. I am going to, oh, this camera is way out of whack. All right, well, I don't need to set that up. You were looking at my feet. This is my palette here in your lower right hand corner. Let me put you in the on this camera. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. Hey there, hey, so good to see you. Hi, Sharon, sorry. I read Sharon as Sharon as Shannon. Sorry about that. So good to have you in the studio with me. Hope you had a great week and things are going well for you. All right, let me show you what we did last week. Actually, the painting we worked on was this one. I'll show you the reference and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do tonight. Okay, there is our reference. This was the reference from a visit to a nearby farm, a friend's family farm. And so that is the reference we're working on. I saw these old trucks in kind of what had been an old outbuilding, I assume. And I thought that would make a cool painting. And so we did, or I took it. Let's see, let me get my camera set up for you. All right, there we go. I think that works. Welcome everybody else who's popped in. So glad to have you joining us. Again, you can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching in the comments, so feel free to take advantage of that. I love hanging out with y'all on Monday evenings. All right, here's where we are. This is the painting we're working on, and I do want to do some refining work on this a little bit. So we will see what we can do. All right. Oh, I should probably put gloves on if I don't want a whole bunch of paint on my hands. But hey there, Uncle John or Aunt Linda, or both. So good to see you. I hope you are doing well and you're having a great, hope that you are having a great day. It was so nice. Yesterday was patio weather. It got up to 80 degrees. It was actually a little warm because we went straight from like 40s, 50s to 80. I was not ready for that. And then today it's back in the 50s, cold and rainy. Feels like the Pacific Northwest, but I will take it over snow and sleet. Okay, let's get going on this. We're going to refine some of the work we did last week on this. The challenge is going to be, I think we have a pretty good start as far as the hey there, Shirley. So good to see you. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Yeah, so the challenge for this one is going to be kind of figuring out what we need to work on, what I want to work on. And so it's going to be making a lot of decisions as we go. You as well, my friend, you as well. I feel like we have pretty good handle on this part of the painting. It feels like it is pretty accurate to, fairly accurate to where we are or where we need to go. So it is a little boxy, I think, here. So there could be things cleaned up, but figuring out how to do that best is going to be, I think, the challenge of the evening. How do we kind of work on this? So I think we will dive in and see what we can do. Let's see if I can, where is a, okay. Could use like a dagger brush maybe. I'm wondering if I should kind of clarify this background a little bit, get it more the way I want it. What I don't know is whether I should do more like it is or leave it darker like that. Not sure how to do that in the, let me try something. We'll mix this. Then we'll take a little white. See if we can mix this with that. What I'm trying to do is get to kind of a bluish gray that I can use on the top of that silo. I don't know if that's whatever that storage building is. There's gray. a little bit of gray, but I do want it, I think, a little lighter. That's going to be pretty dark. I think that is good for the side. Let me try that. Let's see what we can do. I had my brush. Where did I put it? Did I put it back? What? I had the brush I wanted to use, and I don't know. Where did I put it? All right, let's see if we can perhaps clean this up a little bit, because I think I want to do more of kind of a gray, a bluish gray. I think that's going to be more accurate. Okay. I'm kind of having to make this up a little bit too, because I took parts of different pictures to make the reference. So this building was not actually back there. As you can see in the reference, it's kind of floating in the air. But I want it there, but I don't want it to pop forward too much. So we'll kind of see how that does. Now, what I wonder is if I can take that same color and do some work on the aluminum siding right in here. Can we do some, for example, back here, can I do so it kind of blends in, but if I can start to do some kind of simplifying these some of these shapes, it will help me I think create the illusion of this corrugated aluminum back here. We'll work it out. We'll see, we'll see. Not sure quite how to render this because if we can create the illusion that it goes back here, we don't have to paint every single mark, but we definitely want the illusion to continue. Again, I'm just kind of using the and I don't know how to quite create the feeling of like I guess it is. A lot of this is want the feeling that this isn't, I don't know what's creating that, because it feels like this kind of turns and goes. Now not so much. Maybe that was the key. Because I want it to feel like it's going all the way back. It's all one, as opposed to this, you know, that it's turning a corner or something. That makes sense. Okay, now I like brightening this up. Now what we need to do is focus on this roof, because then I want to go back in and be able to restate the sky a little bit. So I'm going to take some more white into this and trying to think, maybe there's a little yellow in this, I don't know. It's pretty bright. Maybe there's a, is there a little sky blue in there? Little blue, not sure. Okay, so let's definitely, so we want to go to the edge right there. And I think it is got to be a shade brighter. Because I definitely want the sun to be reflecting off this there. And we're gonna go, we went a little too extreme, so I want it to definitely see how that feels. How's that feel? This is all going to be right there. So that's good, I think. But I think we can take a little bit of this lighter and perhaps it's really light, isn't it? I want kind of an we want to create some illusion of roundness. So we want to take some of this lighter color and blend it into some of the darker, so that it shines a little more on this side where the sun is hitting it. There you go. There we go. That gives us a definite feeling of this building is round. And then I think I want to lighten up some of this, not too much, but a little bit, so it just kind of disappears there. I do think doing a little blue that's more lighter gives us that, I think will give us that bright reflective appearance that there is a All right. There we go. We're slowly creating an illusion of aluminum. Okay, and I want to take a very sharp brush, kind of really bright color back here, and I want to do a couple of, I'm not sure if I can do this, but we're gonna try. A couple of, hey there my friend, thanks for stopping by. I want to do a right there. This will indicate, hopefully, the edge of the flashing where the light catches the aluminum. Back there. Let's see. All right, now I want to take, let me see if I can take that dark back, that dark gray. I want to kind of reestablish that cross beam that crosses there. Give the, again, the illusion that this is a I want to take some of this darker color into some of these lighter spaces, because you want light and shadow to make it believable. We have to figure out here, because we want to, definitely want movement there. Do just a little at the bottom. Very random highlights, if we can. I don't know if this makes anything better or if it is like much ado about nothing, but I do like it better than the than when we had just kind of gray with nothing. Okay, there we go. Kind of, we got our main lines in. Main lines. I do feel like this is better. However, I do think that I need to do some kind of a is definitely some reflection. Now, let's go, like I said, I wanted to go into the sky. Let's go straight into the sky. Do some more of this. Mix in. Need some of this. Definitely all that. We need that's still too dark. We are gonna need some, again, if you were here last week, you know my thought process on this is we need greener colors here, gradient up to blue, because number one, that's what I see, but also that's how the sky works. We get more of a greener tone at the down low, because we are looking through more we are looking through more of the atmosphere, so that is what is happening, and that's a pretty dang good match to what was there. Pretty good. So I want to come along here and clean up these lines. Cover where we kind of went a little crazy. Little paint boogers, ick. And then we need to now come in, take and correct That's the goal, is to kind of correct. There. Hopefully. Okay, now let's take some of this blue to the upper. We can blend it down, blend up into that. Okay. Let's go back to this greenish color. See if we can do the same thing from down below, because I want to blend this in a little bit. I don't want it to be so stark. Okay. I'm still learning how to paint clouds all these years later. Figuring out how to make them look sort of realistic. Making your sky look realistic. I think my blue up there is a little too saturated, but I am now messing with what I already did to cut in the clouds. Still not totally happy with them, but we're getting there, I think. Yeah, we'll see. Let's take this, go back here, We'll create some more. And we'll do this. The gray we used earlier can, I think, be used. Trying to find a shadow color that I can. It's a little too dark. A little too dark. Okay. Let's see. This is going to look really bad for a minute, hopefully. Okay, now how do I soften that? I think we come in here with the white, a little it's got to be way lighter. Don't know. I don't know if I'm making this better or worse, but it's making it something. Boa noite. E muito obrigado, meu amigo. Muito obrigado. Como está? Tudo bem? E como está sua família? Okay, now what I'm trying to do, pretty much unsuccessfully, is create a highlight, which is totally the opposite way that you should do it. So I am trying to create the highlight after the fact. But who knows? It may work. Because you want pretty thick paint. See where those edges of those clouds are. Well, eu não sei se eu posso pintar-lhe também. I don't know if I can paint it either. The okay. Hey there, Val. It is. Yeah, I heard the smoke was coming in. Must be worse over there. We have not had too bad. I do think it's in the air because I'm having allergic reactions and I don't usually have allergies except to smoke, so I know it's here, but we don't see it. We've had some cloudy days and some rain, so that and wind, so I think that's helped. But I heard it was really bad from Canada coming down. Hope it clears up. That's really tough when the air quality is so bad. This is a farm near north of Wall. I went with a friend a few weeks ago and their family farm, and I went out there with her and her mother, and this old truck was on the edge of the. I think that's kind of just a thing on old farms, isn't it? Like every old farm that I know has an old truck in kind of a barn or a old outbuilding. Muito obrigado, muito obrigado. Estou aprendendo. Estou aprendendo. Sempre aprendendo. Aprendendo como pintar e como falar português também. Também. No también, também. I do think there needs to be some more, like, something happening out in here. Like in the reference, because I think it just brings us into the image more if there's some more clouds. So yeah, good life choices. Good life choices. We'll just kind of, they get less defined, of course, out here. Now I wonder, this to me looks a little, there, I think that helps a little bit. All right, I've spent a lot of time lot of time on that. But I do feel a little bit better about this roof. I need to work on it a little bit because it looks a little wonky to me, at least. But now let's see what we can do with the trucks. I want to look at this truck. This was the one that I had the most trouble with last time, because I mean, not trouble, but I just didn't have a lot of time to work on it. Let's see what I can do. I think it's that kind of light grayish tan. Okay, let's see. What can we do on the top here? Think. Whew. Is really fun to explore these different. I don't usually paint vehicles, and so it's really interesting to kind of challenge myself and learn to draw. Painting a mountain or a mountain or a something more organic. A tree, a mountain is a lot easier. I think it's starting to come together. It's kind of looking cool. Let me see if I can. I think we're starting to get the shape of the this truck. I don't know. I think it says Ford on it. Looks like a Ford. I mean, I don't know what, I don't honestly know what Ford from this era looked like, but thanks so much, Bob G. I don't know if you saw my note, but I got your mailing today. Thank you. I think this one is starting to come together, y'all. This is really starting to look like a real truck, which is cool. Which is very cool. Cool. Okay, let's see. Can I take that color? Just want to give hints of what color this was originally. No, not a problem. Not a problem. I just kind of, whenever you send them, I mean, I track when I get them, but I don't, not super paying attention, which is probably not smart business, but it works. We get it done. We get it done. Not too worried. Plus, I know where you live. I'm going to step back for a minute. Look at this truck. Yeah, I am more and more pleased with kind of how it's coming out. Yeah, I'm not gonna add too much more color. I want the suggestion of the color it was, kind of that brownish red, but that's about it. I want it to look like it's been there for 30 years, which it probably has, or more. I want it to look like the old farms that I visited as a kid, you know, where there were these types of vehicles in old barns and old outbuildings or just under the trees really quite, I don't know, like abandoned, isolated, but they're part of the narrative, I mean, of the place. They all, at least the ones I visited, you know, they're abandoned, but they're there, if that makes sense. Okay. Now I want to come in here and I think by putting these shadows in, they are going to look even more realistic. I think in this kind of painting, it is not the amount of detail you put in, but it's the detail you pay attention to that makes the difference. That's just a gut feeling. It's what am I paying attention to? Like, I have the basic shapes, and my tendency is to want to paint everything I see because I'm like, oh, I see that. I can, especially on a photo, because I can see so much, makes me want to paint so much. But the real skill is knowing what to paint and what not to. And I'm still learning it for sure. For sure. Still learning it. For sure. Is that good enough? Let me step back. I think it is, like, for being, you know, if I stand 5-6 feet away, I'm really happy with it. Really happy with it. Okay. We have about 15 minutes. Let's see what we can do with 15 minutes. And I do not want to paint every blade of this grass, obviously. So I want to do some highlights. And then I want to take one of these and let me actually come over here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to very intentionally choose what I and I am going to give us a little bit then we're just gonna kind of fake the rest. We don't need to do a whole lot. We do one or two stalks that really stand out. The rest is just painting. We do it will give us lots of Isn't it fun how you get a few things like this? It doesn't take much to then fill in the space. just suggest some. I'll wait till I get this truck done to do this side, but I thought if I can get most of this done, then it's really cool. All right, we are at our time's end, my friends. Pretty close. So I think I will wrap it up. We got quite a bit done. We repainted the sky. We redid the green building, whatever that's called. We definitely worked this over. Now I want to do this same process here because I think this is good enough. I don't need a lot more detail. I want to do that over here. I really want to bring out those blues and greens here so there's more contrast between the aluminum here. But yeah, I think we have a good, this is a little bit off, this perspective, because it sits a little bit, the whole thing sits a little bit down, but we can slowly, I think, correct that. Overall, it does not look too bad, I don't think. It is getting there. All right, this is the 170th episode, so we are heading towards 180. Crazy, crazy to think. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. Quite remarkable. Especially when I think, man, there's a lot that I haven't, as little time as I've spent with it. I'm pretty proud of myself for the skill I've developed, because a lot of times I've only, like this week, I've only painted these few hours. And I know if I dedicated even more time to it, I would definitely improve even faster. But it is what it is, right? All right, let's see. Let me clean up a little bit. Let me turn my camera around. That way, always, always, Bob G, always, always. That way I can say goodnight to you all in person. Let me get this camera turned around. We will be back next week, Monday evening, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, as always. And I hope to have this one done. So I don't usually like to do more than 2 sessions on one painting, but this has been fun. I think it's fun because it's starting to come together. That always makes it much more interesting, to me at least. All right, let me close that off. I'll go here. All right, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Let me show you, I don't know if it will show in this light, but you can kind of see what is going on in this painting. Pretty pleased with where it's going. Again, I do want to work on this truck a little bit. The trailer looks a little odd. My drawing is off there, but I think the drawing of the rest of the painting, this side I think is good. The clouds I think are good. They draw us into the painting, and when we get this fixed, it will draw us back there and keep our eye kind of going around in this painting, which is what we want from a composition standpoint. So That's the goal. But I appreciate you being here. We will be back next Monday evening, as I said, 6 p.m. Mountain Time for episode 171. But I do want to take this time to say thank you so much for joining me, and that I hope you have a great week. And we will see you next week here on the live stream. Good night, everybody.